My name is Gregoire Lamodiere. I am a cloud solution architect, and I've been working in the CloudStack community for around 10 years. I have the same history as Sven because I met the community while it was still using Citrix cloud platform, and then I moved to Apache CloudStack. And I am with Joffrey today.
Hey everybody, I'm Joffrey Luangsaysana. So I work daily with Apache CloudStack, and maybe you've heard me on previous talk about Backroll, a KVM backup solution made by DIMSI.
Geoffrey, can you please make the marketing part?
So first we're gonna talk briefly about DIMSI, then what led us to this reporting feature, so the current trends, our clients' feedback. Then we're gonna take a look at the state of the art, what's being done for the reporting in Asia, and what about CloudStack? A few words on the usage service and the instances consumption history. And then we're gonna explain the feature in details with a mockup. And we're gonna end this session with an open discussion about this feature.
Just for organization, our talk will held for about 20 minutes, and at the end we would like to keep 10 minutes to have the discussion, so we can go.
Yeah. So a few words about DIMSI. We're 25 experts in France, in 3 different cities, and we have 3 different practices. The first one being about cloud, with cloud hosting on CloudStack, CloudStack integration and different integration. And we also have development on the Power Platform and modern apps. And we also have a practice for digital project management. So that's the technology we're using daily.
So why are we here today? We have more and more companies coming to us while they are building new roadmaps, rethinking their infrastructure practices. We had very interesting talks this morning. Giles mentioned the points, Sven as well. We identified 2 typology of customers coming to us. First, our customer using on-premise solution. They are mostly, of course, VMware existing customers, and they are no longer confident with the Broadcom strategy, so they are considering a technology move. When they only have a virtual machine to migrate, they are thinking about Proxmox, XCP, KVM, and as Giles mentioned, CloudStack is a very good KVM management solution. And the on-premise customers, they always have complex workload or orchestration needs, and CloudStack is a very good candidate for this, as well as OpenStack, OpenNebula, and some other solution. We also have some cloud customers coming to us because, of course, we spoke this morning about cloud cost, and yes, the initial base of cloud was you only pay for what you are using. That's right, but generally you keep your virtual machine running 24 hours, and you have it's very difficult to be able to understand your precise cost. So this leads to hybrid cloud or even full repatriation. Both typology of customer are very good opportunities for our community to welcome new members. And today I think we have around 50% new members, and this is a very good opportunity to discuss. Maybe we can go. During our initial conversation with new members, we have identified 3 main barriers to Apache CloudStack adoption. The first one is the migration path. Some people do think that this migration project to Apache CloudStack need massive effort. And in fact, this is not the case. We have many different tools helping people to come to Apache CloudStack. We have the VM ingestion, the KVM host discovering, Virt V2V. So many solutions are there to help new user of Apache CloudStack. So in our understanding, this barrier is not a real one. We can explain people how to go to Apache CloudStack. The second barrier identified is the knowledge. Many people think that we need very high skills, Linux skills, to go for Apache CloudStack. And basically, we have a lot of solutions to handle this. First one, is the bootcamp and training services. We have here our friends of ShapeBlue. They provide very good training solution. Then you can also have help of external people to design and implement your initial Apache CloudStack project. And then many customers, they are afraid about support. They say, okay, if we have a problem, how can we handle? My team won't be able to handle the situation. And you can find very good commercial support available 24 hours, 7 days a week regarding Apache CloudStack. So this barrier is not a real one. The third one is regarding the reporting. Many existing customers and mostly cloud-based customers, they are used to very high level of reporting. They have access to some reporting in Microsoft Azure, AWS, or any other cloud solution. And their management is really enjoying this kind of reporting for operational reporting or even for green ops. And at the moment, in the Apache CloudStack world, we have no standard reporting capabilities available. We have no built-in feature to define KPIs and other things to analyze the situation. And even our usage service is only API based. We don't have real front end for this usage service. We have, in the new version, we have a beginning of UI, but it's only for administrator. So in our understanding, this last barrier is really something we have to work on. As a state-of-the-art example, let's go for Microsoft Azure. I know everybody is not enjoying really Microsoft Azure, but it's a very good example of what customers are expecting at the moment. When you are Azure user, you have access to a very high level of reporting. You can have view of your consumption, CPU, memory, data storage. You have access basically to all metrics you are using in your deployment. You also have the possibility to create specific dashboard using a very simple language and tools. So you have the possibility to create and to show your management and your user, okay, here are the resources we are using with historical data. The same for GreenOps, which is something I know everybody might think it's kind of bullshit, but many customers enjoy the GreenOps reporting. This is a sample of Microsoft. It's basically a Power BI report. It's provided for free by Microsoft, and it basically analyzes the usage of IaaS or even Microsoft services. And it shows you your global footprint, your impact, your ecological impact, and it's based on your consumption and on the location of your consumption, because the carbon is not, the electricity, is not provided the same way in different locations. So this kind of reporting are something our users are willing to go for. And may we have a look at what is already existing in Apache CloudStack world?
Thank you. Thank you, Gregoire. So in CloudStack, for the data part, we have a lot of data available thanks to the usage service that some of you are currently using. So it comes with API capabilities, and we can retrieve instances and all the infrastructure consumption. I've listed a few comments that are really helpful and give some insight about the consumption. So the first one is the list capacity API command. It retrieves the consumption for the pod or cluster. You have the usage history for virtual machine. It provides the metrics graph available in your CloudStack instance tab. You have the same for the system VM. And also I've shown the list usage record API. So it looks like this. So that's a lot of data. And so that just for one day and just a small extract.
Even less than 1 day, so it depends on the...
Even less than 1 day for a specific domain. So that's for the data part. We have a lot of data, and we would see how it's exploited in CloudStack currently. So we have the new feature, the usage UI. So in CloudStack 4.20. So it's an UI to display your usage records. Just for administration purpose, but there's nothing you can get out of the box. Like there's no insight you can gather from those data out of the box. And you also have the resources metrics, like for your cluster, for your host, for your VM. So those are really helpful metrics, but there's no history. Like you cannot see any trends or evolution. So for example, here's the view for the cluster. We can see the allocated size, the percentage of use, and we have all those data, but there's no history. So that's why we propose the following feature. It's to expand the CloudStack reports and dashboarding capabilities for both providers, IT team, and end users. So first, for the resources and ops, it means a dashboard with the consumption service and an history, with a separate view for providers or global admin and the customer, and with the ability to filter on specific domains, accounts, or projects. And for the green ops,
and for the green ops, basically we suggest the same way to separate the infrastructure view for providers and for end users. The question we want to answer is, what is the impact of my activity? So as a service provider, I want to check the impact of my physical infrastructure, my host, my physical host, my networking part, and maybe external part. And for the end users, what is the impact of my virtual machine consumptions? To do this, we have to set solution to gather some technical part, very low level part like electrical part. We have to identify a way to try to understand the impact of what is the impact of my instance on one specific host. So it's quite difficult. The same for the network. Let's say I have a virtual network. I want to check what is the impact of my virtual network in the global network. And we also have for multi-zone deployment to analyze the localization of the usage to be able to check if this is, let's say, a green electricity or fossil electricity. So this is the green ops part. Joffrey, I think you can show. Yes.
Yeah. So let's take a look at a mock-up we've done for this presentation. So here is the view we imagine for a global admin or an IT service team that will host CloudStack. So we have the resources, so the CPU, the RAM, the storage. There we will be able to select the time span, the period, and we could filter also with a domain or specific accounts. And it will give useful insight to see, for example, an evolution of the consumption. So here it's pretty flat overall for the few months selected. And it also shows if your over-provisioning factor is correctly set. So it could give tips for admins. And then we could also list number of useful elements, such as the number of resources created and deleted for this period, such as the domain, the VPC, networks, VM. We would also have the networks metrics and storage metrics, and also, for example, the number of logins, the number of powered off and powered on VM, and the OS repartition of your VM. Then the same view for the end user. So it's pretty much the same, but without the over-provisioning factor. So that's, for example, for a specific account, they will be able to see their consumption. And here, for example, they will be able to see that every 2 weeks, there's a spike in consumption. So maybe they can adjust their consumption, like downscale or upscale if needed. So that will help them. And on the long term, they will be able to see if their infrastructure, their consumption is going up or going down. And we could also have a list for the least used VM in their domain. So for example, here we have the test backroll VM, which is currently with almost 0% of use. So maybe this VM is oversized, or maybe they could do something about it. So this will help them to optimize their consumption.
And for the GreenOps proposed feature, it's basically the same, So this is just a draft, so okay. First part will be the consumption by host, pod or region, and to be able to check if my physical consumption is in the same way as my virtual consumption. The second part would be to display resources by region. So here in my sample, I would be working on an Apache CloudStack deployment with 3 different zones. The map is not really good, but it was supposed to be France, UK, and US, and with a background map showing the energy sources based on public APIs. And the last part of this dashboard will be what we call the Impact Optimization Center, which could be a place to make suggestions to the operator, such as you have too many hosts, you should reduce host number with no impact for your end user. So it could be this kind of optimization center. But to provide this feature, we anticipate some limitation and challenges. First is performance.
Yes, so we anticipate limitation or maybe barrier for this feature. So the first one is limitation for larger infrastructure, because it means a lot of data to process, and also the longer the period you want to analyze, the longer the process will take. So it's a thing we have to consider on how we process those reports and dashboard and how we provide them to the user. For the technical part, on the ops side, we know that sometimes on specific operating system, at least on KVM, the percentage of use shown it's not showing, because I don't know why. Sometimes it's not gathered by the hypervisor. So that's also an issue, because it means your data might be incomplete or incorrect. And we also anticipate some DB performances impact and the storage, because all those data have to be saved, because it's interesting to have data for a longer time span. And we have to find a sweet spot between storage optimization and data gathering. And for the GreenOps?
For the GreenOps, the difficult part is to gather consumption. We try to find a generic solution to identify for example, the host electrical consumption, and it's not easy. So this is something we have to still to work on. Then about the core infrastructure, we need to identify impact of switching, firewalling, and all other parts of the infrastructure. We need to identify the real consumption. Then we might be able to find algorithm to say, okay, this virtual router is maybe 1% of the physical infrastructure, so here is its impact. And then the last part, this is something I remember a very good talk from Widow, I think maybe 1 or 2 years ago, about the manufacturing impact, and it's not always a good way to just move to new CPU because of the impact of the manufacturing part. And we think it would be interesting to add this information in our GreenOps reporting and advising solution. So now we would like first to thank you for your attention. Thank you.